What's up guys, welcome back to the YouTube, and today is going to be a really good video because I've had a lot of people request this video. So we're going to talk about how to execute the perfect bulk. What is the perfect bulk? How do we do a growing phase? Because a lot of people have asked me, they want to know about the rate of gain, how much body fat should you be gaining, how much body weight should you gain, how to know if things are working, and ultimately if you nail this, you're going to have lots of muscle, right? So it's a really important topic, and I feel like it's a topic that a lot of people have quite a lot of anxieties around, because people don't know whether what they're doing is correct, and they don't know if they're getting the right results. It takes time to see results ultimately, but also people are scared to gain body fat. And when you know how to do it and you have the confidence in it, it helps you so much. So we will get into that. Before that, we're going to just show you some bits of this session today. So I'm literally about to train push without the coach, and this video is, if you're a loyal subscriber, you'll probably notice that I think the last two videos have been this session. So we're not going to go through this session much at all. We're just going to do a little edit, and Aaron can work his magic with that, and just show you a kind of different style with the training, and then actually after that we'll get into the actual part of the video where we discuss how to set up your bulk, how to execute it, how you want to run it, and all that stuff. So let's do it. good. I want to just quickly mention, like, post-workout cereal. There's no magic in having cereal for your gains, okay? And I've seen, what's his name? Eddie do you know the guy? Have you seen Eddie Abu? He says a lot of controversial stuff. Or he said, like, you don't need a bowl.
I do know him. He's from the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he says, don't eat squares bars, don't eat this.
And it's like, oh, don't eat cereal because you're not getting more muscle growth from it. Okay, that's fine, but maybe I just want to eat cereal because I want to eat some cereal. Like, it's way easier. I had chicken and rice all the time. You want a fast absorbing carbohydrate. Cereal is that. White rice also is that. White pasta is that as well. But I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to get home and have to cook loads of food. I also don't want to have a cold. Like, sometimes, you know, this is nice and I enjoy it. Like, when we're bodybuilders, our diets are super healthy, okay? We have very healthy diets most of the time. And if there's a tiny exception where it's me eating, like, UK cereal, which is, like, not even that bad compared to, like, it's not even that, there's not that much sugar in it. I'm going to do it, so it's just good post-workout, it digests quickly, it's good for replenishing glycogen stores, but white rice will also do that, and I'm not going to tell you that there's some magic about cereal. You don't need to get, like, some fast, insulin spike from having sugar, all that stuff. You don't need to do that, but it's enjoyable, so that's why I do it. Is it filming?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. And one more thing. The good thing about cereal, if you're bulking and you're eating a lot of calories, it goes down so easily. Like, it's probably one of the easiest things you could eat. If you're ever ill and you're struggling to eat, have a bowl of cereal instead of, like, it just goes down so much easier than anything else. So yeah, obviously I'm not saying you should eat it, like, more than once a day or something.
Plus it's, like, sweet tasting as well.
Yeah, it's nice, yeah, exactly. You want something like that. It's better than having, I don't know, loads of chocolate and stuff like that. Yeah. So if Sam Sulek, he calls himself a serial killer, don't he? Yeah. I'll call myself the natty serial killer. But, like, I think the reason that people are now attacking cereal is because, I don't know, I haven't really seen why Sam Sulek talks about cereal, but I'm sure he's not trying to sell it as, like, the secret to gains. I'm sure he just likes eating cereal post-workout, so. So we flipped the camera around and I'm filming Aaron because he's got this state of... We put Equality Street, cookies and cream whey, and cherry bakewell cream and rice.
Weird combo, but you know what? It actually slaps.
I think I'm going to stick to cereal.
It's not bad taste.
It doesn't actually look that bad, yeah.
Does the job.
So guys, let's do the actual, the main part of this video. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that little edit of my training. But yeah, we're actually going to talk a bit now about the perfect bulk, how it works. I'm essentially just going to discuss how you want to set up your push. I'm not going to, I can show you, like, a few numbers of things in terms of my growing phase last time, in terms of you can see the rate of gain later into my growing phase. But I'm not going to do that too much because everyone's in a different position. But ultimately, it's not a case of when we discuss the rate of gain, it's not a case of going, okay, look at every week and this is how I've gone. It's more like, okay, what was that time period overall? What was the trajectory of that across that longer term time period, sorry. So yeah, that's why I'm not going to show loads and loads of details because it might just distract the main point. But essentially the perfect bulk, how do you want to set up a growing phase? How do we maximize putting on as much muscle tissue as possible? So I guess the number one thing I want to say first is making sure you follow a plan, like a training plan with the right movements for you, and just rinse and repeat those movements and focus on progressing the movements, okay? That's the first thing to say, because if you're not doing that, you're not building up that progressive stimulus over time, you're not going to be building muscle tissue. Essentially, everything else we talk about is how we can create an environment for you to create a progressive stimulus over time for as long as possible. How can we keep you in that environment so we just keep putting on tissues for as long as we can? That's what we want to achieve. But obviously you need to be doing that, right? Like, you need to be doing the things of training to allow you to do that. So that's very important. Focus on movements that work for you and rinse and repeat. So yeah, find the training that works for you, and then essentially understand that we need to be starting from a lean set point. So this is like the second point, start from a lean set point. You can't start in a soft position, okay? Because bodybuilding is all about momentum. Building muscle tissue is about momentum with your training, okay? If you diet down and you start soft and you're not lean enough, you're going to reach a position where we can't push things further and we have to diet again. But what you're doing with the training side of things is so good. So you'll be like really skilled at those movements, you'll be getting stronger, and you'll be very efficient at creating an accurate stimulus with those movements because you have got more confident with them. Brilliant. Over time, you get better at doing that. So don't hold yourself back by having to diet sooner. Over time, the more experience you get with training, the better you will be at doing that. So build that momentum and let it keep building up for as long as possible. So start in a lean position. This can allow us, and this is kind of like the same point, but the third point, to be in a growing phase for 8 to 10 to 12 months. I would say 8 months is at the absolute minimum. I would say kind of 14 months at the longest if you really do it like slowly, but that's quite crazy. I've had a few clients that have done that and it worked for them 100%. But that depends on the stage you're in. I think if you're very new to training, then those longer pushes are very worthwhile. But yeah, at least 8 months. And, that means, you're in a favourable environment to build muscle tissue for a really long period of time, okay? So how do we do that? So this is the fourth point, it's a steady rate of gain. So we want to be in a position where you're essentially able to progress body weight upwards every single week to be in a position to go into the gym and get strong. How do we do that? By kind of food allowing us to, how do we set up food to allow us to do that? Well, I think a lot of the time people can get quite confused with the amount of food they need, that it stops them even starting. They're like, I don't know how many calories I need, what's the point? All you need to do, guys, is choose your diet, choose your amount of calories, your carbohydrates, your fats, your protein. Obviously set it up in a somewhat appropriate way, but that's a whole other kind of video. But just get your calories set up, run it for 7 days, step on the scale every single day, take the average at the end of those 7 days, then do another week. See how the average has changed across those 2 weeks now. Has it gone up? Has it gone down? If it's gone down, you know to put a little bit more food in. So say it goes down by half a kilo, then we should probably be putting in at least 200 calories. But there's no strict way of doing this. Just increase food a little bit, okay? Just give yourself a bit more food. Every time you increase food, you're going into the gym in a better position now to progress, okay? So just steadily increase your food when body weight isn't moving upwards. It's not a complicated process, okay? Increase that food from carbohydrates mostly. Then later on, we can add more fats in when carbohydrates get higher. Do that only when you need to create a position where essentially you can move like a kilo per month, okay? So you're gaining a kilo per month. And again, with that, it doesn't need to be complicated in terms of okay, how do I actually make myself gain a kilo per month? If you go a month where you gained, I don't know, let's say you gained 4 kilos in a month, right? That's not great, right? But a very fast month. Level it off. Slow things down. Just don't put in more food for quite a while now. Let things really slow down. When we want to be looking back and seeing basically 6 months, 6 to 8 kilos gained, something like that. So it's just about slowing things down. If you go through these time periods where you move really fast, you're going to have to go through a bigger time period moving super, super, super slow. Balance things out, basically. Obviously, ideally, we can nail a position where every month you can gain, a kilo per month. So just get yourself into a small surplus. Once you see yourself go up 0.3 kilos per week, that's pretty much perfect. Like 0.25, brilliant. Keep it the same. Don't add any food in. That is essentially how we want to set up a perfect bulk. It's just being in a growing phase for a long period of time, getting calories in the position we need, and just having patience. We don't want to be gaining faster. Loads of studies, Eric Helms actually released a study on this, showing that you could be in a 5% of a surplus, 10%, 15%. The people that were in a 15% versus a 5% gained similar amounts of muscle tissue. So you gain quick, you're not building more muscle tissue, you're just cutting off the time that you can stay in a growing phase for. And I've noticed it myself. It's weeks where I've gone up a lot of weight hasn't really translated to a big week of performance. So ideally you want to make sure you move slow and controlled. That's the key, you know, don't overdo it. Don't spin your wheels equally. Don't be at a position where every week your body weight isn't going up. But yeah, just be prepared to make sure that you're going at a slow, controllable pace. Don't rush it. And some weeks you might feel like it's really slow, but it works. And those, if you go in every week and you know you're realistic, and that half rep progression you took, whilst it didn't feel crazy within the session, if you do that every single week for 12 months, think about how much stronger you are at the end of that, and think about how much muscle tissue you would have gained. So yeah, steady growing phase, realistic kind of expectations with training, and just sticking at it for the test of time is the key thing. Certain people, if you're newer to training, you can move a bit quicker. If you're more developed, if you have a lot more muscle tissue, move slower. That's kind of basically, you know, and still stick to around that scale, you know, like a kilo per month, but you can be a bit at the like fast rate of gain if you're really new to training, just getting body weight up a bit more. But overall, the key thing here is this point of like a long period of time you need to be in that push for. Be prepared to push body weight. You know, I'll show you some shots of me here looking super soft, and yeah, that built a lot of tissue. Be prepared to do that because whilst you don't want to turn into a fat mess, there is a point to where it is useful for getting strong, and it's not really just getting fat for the sake of it. It's just because that end point where you are quite soft is a byproduct of staying in the phase for absolutely ages. So don't, you know, it goes back to the point of how developed you are, but you know, you don't have to diet suddenly once you get like see a bit of body fat come on here. Like you stick at it, keep going. So hopefully that was useful, guys. And you know, obviously I've had a lot of people ask me about this, so I thought I'd just give my thought processes to it. You can see here kind of like where body weight was at this point and then later on as well. But one thing I would say as well is a bulk after a prep is very different to like a bulk when you're not coming out of that stage conditioning. Obviously when you're stage conditioned, you need to gain pretty quick out the gates. So a lot of people ask me, well, you say a kilo per month, but you gained like loads and loads of weight pretty quick. Well, actually I needed to recover. Once I recovered, slow it down loads, but get some initial body weight on quickly. But for the majority of you guys, you're probably going into these bulks not stage conditioning. Not all of you, obviously, but like, you know, I reckon the majority of you guys. So for that, then yeah, 100%, that rate of gain is key. So yeah, like I said, hopefully that was useful, and we'll keep the videos coming. I'm keeping the informative stuff coming through because people are really appreciating it. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the edit as well. Let me know your thoughts on that style, and I'll catch you in the next video. Like and subscribe, all that stuff again, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Cheers.